Hello, Weirdos, and happy Halloween! Welcome to Keep It Weird, the podcast for all things strange and unusual, creepy and crawly, candy-corned and pumpkin-spiced, and everything in between. Every time we get together, we chat about something weird, and this week is certainly no exception. This week is a recording of our live show, WEIRD Centralia, History and Haunts, that took place on October 17th at the Centralia Area Historical Society Museum. We took a deep dive into some of the strangest aspects and stories from my hometown, and we got to do so with a sold-out audience in a spooky old building, and after a delicious fried chicken dinner provided by local caterers Simply Soul LLC. It was awesome, and it's a weekend I don't think I'll ever forget. I do want to say before you get too far into this very fun episode, I recommend watching this one on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/keepitweirdpodcast. And that's because I actually loaded in the slideshow that we showed at the live performance as well. So you'll be able to see all the cool old pictures, the videos, the newspaper clippings, all the things that our live audience got to see. You don't have to watch the slideshow, but you will miss out on a lot of very funny gags and important visuals if you are only listening to the episode. Also, just a heads up, this was a live recording, so the audio is going to be a lot different than our normal episodes. I totally understand if you're the kind of person that hates listening to live shows for that exact reason. I am working on creating a WEIRD Centralia page of our website, so if you prefer to wait and read all about it instead, that should be up hopefully in 2025. I don't know. Life may never slow down for me. This was an extremely special weekend for me. I have to thank two folks really quickly. Rick Dodson, he's not only a childhood friend of my family, but he's also a member of the board of directors at the Centralia Historical Society, and he and I planned every last detail of this event together, from the content of the show to the tablecloths, and it's really because of him that this event ever even took place. And I also have to thank Miss Mallory Fisk, who allowed us to stay at the Pittenger's house that was built in 1904. The Pittingers were a huge part of Centralia history. They owned a large hotel in the Grand Opera House downtown, where the very first talkie was shown in Centralia, all the way back in 1929. So incredibly cool. There will be more thank yous at the end, as well as, okay, don't go anywhere, stay to the end, because we're also going to play the very creepy EVP we caught at the museum while doing a ghost hunt after the live show. We invited the audience to stick around when the dinner and the podcast recording were over so we could take them around the museum with the lights off. Yes, it was scary. You can check that out on our YouTube channel as well under EVPs and extras, but definitely stay tuned after this recording for a description of what occurred around the EVP. Okay, that's enough business for me. Let's get on with it. Follow me, weirdos, and welcome to Centralia. We are recording live this evening from the Centralia Area Historical Society and Museum in Centralia, Illinois. And tonight's episode is all about Centralia, my sweet, quirky, strange little hometown. We'll be discussing some of Centralia's weirdest attributes as a town, and also some modern-day hauntings and the historical events that they may be tied to. But first, allow us to properly introduce ourselves. My name is Ashley. This is my co-host, Lauren.
Hi, Weirdos.
How many people in here have listened to Keep It Weird before?
Oh, that's way more than I thought.
Okay, I love it. Well, hello.
Thank you.
You guys know who we are, but for
That's
those
really
of you
nice.
who don't know who we are, I am Ashley. Hello. I'm born and raised in Centralia, technically Walnut Hill, but you guys know that's Centralia. I went to Trinity Lutheran Grade School and church. I went to Centralia High School. I graduated in 2006. From there, I went to Kaskaskia, where my father, Ron Cassidy, worked for many years. Hey, Dad. And no one look at him for the rest of the night. That is more attention than he's had in 30 years.
No. Don't look his way.
And if you don't know him, you know my mom, Pam Cassidy. She worked at St. Mary's Hospital for most of her career, so she's probably treated you. Yeah, still working there. She's probably treated you or your children or your parents.
Love that.
You can give her attention, though. You can give her attention. She
look
actually
at Pam.
really likes
Let's
attention.
look at her.
So if you do have to look at that table, look at Pam. I moved to Los Angeles in 2010, and that is where I met this girl here, another Illinois hottie. Lauren, where are you from?
So I don't have the Centralia background, I'm sorry. This is my first time to Centralia, and I've only been here for a few hours, and I'm obsessed, and it immediately reminds me of Practical Magic or Hocus Pocus, and I feel like I'm in a Halloween movie, and I'm very excited about it. But I am from Peoria, Illinois, if anyone knows it. No. Julia, how dare you? My sister is here. Shout, yeah, Peoria, Illinois. So I moved to Los Angeles in 2009, met Ashley in 2010 as we were working in Hollywood. Hollywood together. And we immediately found each other, and it was like Midwest, scary things, ghosts. Yes.
Me?
And so we connected immediately, and it was a beautiful friendship ever since.
Yeah.
And how long have we been doing this now? It's been 8 years?
Too long. No, it's going to be 10 years next year.
Oh, we're
decade.
almost to a decade.
Yeah,
Love
10
it.
whole years we've been doing this show.
And now we do it from a distance. I'm still in LA. She has moved back to Illinois, but
Yeah.
distance.
We just started doing this because we wanted to do something creative together.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us really worked in the industry anymore, but we wanted to do something fun. And this was kind of before podcasts were a thing. I mean, a couple people had indie podcasts, but most of it was, WTF with Mark Maron.
Right.
We had one. Yeah.
And now it's such a saturated place of
which is
true
great.
crime and everything, which is beautiful. But yeah, we were like, we are pioneers. We're doing it first, and everyone else was doing it too.
Well, and when we started too, we were like, well, what can we talk about? What can we talk about every week for a year? Because that's about as long as we thought we would do this for. We had no idea it would be 10 years later, and we'd still. Here's the thing. We have over 400 episodes. We have not repeated a topic.
Because weird stuff is always happening.
Wild. That's the thing. Yeah, we live in a very strange world.
Sure do.
On a weird planet in an ever-expanding, creepy universe.
That is true.
And you don't have to believe in ghosts to enjoy our show. It's not a prerequisite. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
We like it if you do.
But it's not a prerequisite because we look at every single angle of every single story. It doesn't ruin it for us. It's actually really exciting when we can find a legitimate reason that something's happening that's not a ghost or a ghoul.
Right. It's good to debate and find the scientific explanation. We cover it all. It's very fun.
Yeah. So, and the magic of it is in learning together.
We are learning the more you know.
So today we're talking about Centralia. Boy, oh boy, where do I start? You guys are freaks.
You're the weirdest
Every
people
one of you.
that have ever existed.
I'm kind of joking, but not really, because I do think that the reason that I became this today is because of growing up here.
I told you the minute I walked into this town, I was like, oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see.
It all makes sense.
I get you.
Yeah, visiting Elmwood Cemetery, which you will see tomorrow. I'm very
Is that
excited.
what Violin Anne?
Yes, it is,
Oh my
girl.
God, I'm gonna freak out.
Visiting Elmwood Cemetery made me fall in love with ghost stories. And the Halloween season around here is unlike any other. The Halloween parade and all the decorations. Now I'm a Halloween freak. Even just like going to see, I remember seeing The Rage Carrie 2 at the Illinois Theater on South Locust.
That is phenomenal.
Which not only made me love horror movies, but also made me love old buildings, which we have a plethora of, and we will talk about a few of those today.
I like that.
Thank you.
Turning you up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
I am the quieter one. Lauren has a really deep, beautiful
What
voice.
are
and
you
very-
talking
Hello.
I didn't realize Centralia celebrates Halloween as much as they do.
Oh boy.
Like, it is everywhere.
Yeah, we
the
love
minute
it.
you enter the town. I'm obsessed. It's so great.
We love it. But today we're celebrating Centralia and all of its strange and unusual history, the legends and lore that this town is built on top of, quite literally. Stories that only we in this room can keep alive by telling them.
That's right.
We have to keep telling them. On top of podcasting for the last 10 years, we've also been amateur paranormal investigators. And before you roll your eyes at that, we've learned some pretty cool stuff. And we've had some really creepy experiences. So today, as we discuss our city's strange history, we also hope to share some of our personal experiences with you, as well as some scientific theories behind the paranormal. But first up, it's not all ghosts and ghouls and goblins. Some things about our town can seem very strange to an outsider. Lauren, what did you think the first time I told you my high school mascot was the Orphans?
I thought it was a lie. I said, oh, that's so funny. What was it really? I didn't know a mascot could be the Orphans. And I was like, I thought I should be offended for absolutely no reason, but doesn't it feel like you should be? Someone's like, we're the Orphans. I was like, no.
Are you sure?
No, you can't. Like, you're canceled. I didn't know what, I thought you were lying. So she proved it to be true, and even walking through this museum, there were some jerseys that said the Orphans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also have Violin Anne, though, so is Little Orphan Annie born in Centralia? I just put that together.
Well, because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys can see the screen. Look at poor Little Orphan Annie there. What's going on with her?
No.
Are we sure? Can we get
Wait, that's not real.
That's real.
See, it keeps getting worse. That is terrible.
Come on, she's cute.
And also, like, why is that the bodybuilder of the century? Like, I don't.
Listen.
And then she's just like, hey, I got some red hair and I'm trying. Like, I don't.
I'm trying my best here.
And I'm gonna be an orphan. I don't like it.
Well, before we were the Orphans, we were the Cardinals, and then we were the Redbirds, which is why we are red and white, and why our fight song starts with "Hail to the Cardinal." Hail to the white. Thank you. Give a cheer for Centralia. That is all I know. Rah, rah, rah. Okay.
When does it say go Orphans? Never?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just
Don't worry about it.
I'm very concerned still.
At one point, we were even the Troutmen.
I didn't think it could get worse, but fish heads?
Our legendary coach was Arthur Trout.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
And honestly, the more I learn about him, the more I think he probably hated Troutmen. I don't think he would have liked it at all.
That's too much.
But the thing about the Orphans is that Arthur Trout was very frugal.
All right.
Some people would say cheap, but we're gonna say frugal. And his team was always like, can we please get you new uniforms? Can we please get new uniforms? And he's like, this sport is not about the uniforms.
No.
And he's right. But sometimes you need a uniform that stays on your body.
Sure.
Because the thing is that we were winning tournaments, all over the place.
Doing well.
In rags. Literally they picked out uniforms out of a box before the game. Didn't even have their name on the back or any. Yeah.
Just a cloth over the body. All right.
Yeah.
That was
And
the Troutman.
we got yes. And then we got the nickname the Orphan Team from Centralia.
That's why.
Oh,
that's sad.
And you can take
it.
our mascot name from our cold dead finger.
So it's still Orphans to this day.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
We're in a new gym, but we are still the Orphans.
All right.
And we always will.
No judgment. A little bit.
And speaking of high school, did you know that every single year since 1922, we perform a public pagan fertility ritual?
That feels really on brand.
We do.
Tell me more.
Well, if we started
Wait, in a gazebo in town square?
at the high school,
Okay, great. Even better.
If we started referring to May Fete as a pagan fertility ritual, we probably have some problems. But that's what it is. That's where it started. It came from Beltane, which is an ancient pagan tradition out of Ireland, and it marks the beginning of summer. And people would perform rituals to protect their crops and their cattle and their friends and family in hopes for a prosperous and fertile year. There were feasts and bonfires and alcohol, and everything was decorated with flowers and ribbons. And a lot of games we played, including the crowning of that year's Flower Queen. Look at that, 1878, the crowning of the May Queen. And then we also have one from 1932 there. Oh yeah, for the listeners at home, if you hear a little choo-choo, that's because this is Centralia, Illinois, and we have a lot of trains, so.
I love that.
So they would crown the May Queen. They would also wrap the chosen tree.
Oh.
Yeah.
The chosen tree?
Well, it used to be a tree.
How
was
the tree chosen?
Special tree.
It's just a special tree.
Yeah, just a special tree.
Maybe it's just a special.
Whichever
looks
tree
real
is
cute.
special.
Looks real nice.
I imagine the tree was chosen by this tree looks healthy and good and will, be a great representation for a healthy, great year.
Sure,
I assume.
Honestly, this looks really beautiful though. I like this.
Yeah, this is a maypole wrapping from all over the place, all kinds of years.
That's awesome.
So, from here, the tradition moved to other parts of the world, combined with other ancient rituals like the Europeans' Walpurgis Night, which we've talked about on the show before, and became known as May Day. They kept the festivities outdoors. There was still a feast. There was still dancing. Of course, there was still booze and games and flowers and a May Queen and a maypole. But it lost the whole rituals to the gods for a prosperous year thing.
Right.
Now it just became kind of we all get together and we celebrate.
Right.
It was very popular for royal courts, and they started to incorporate short comedy sketches and talent shows into the mix, which is starting to sound a lot more like our May Fete here in Centralia, which you've never been.
I've never been, but I want to go. Gotta come.
It's a treat.
Ooh.
When Europeans immigrated to the United States, they would often still celebrate May Day, and the old traditions carried over, specifically in women's liberal arts schools.
I like that.
Yeah, and then when women started going to school with men and it started going to universities, eventually it made its way into high schools. And in most towns outside of Centralia, it still occurs, but it's known as Field Day, which I know you've all heard of Field Day. So we lost the maypole, the May Queen, the flowers, the booze, the dancing, and it all turned into hot dogs, watermelon, capture the flag, tug of war, but still celebrating the return of nice weather and the community of playing games together. Yeah.
Here for that.
Oh boy. So with that rich history, you can now look at Centralia High School's May Fete and see all of those ancient traditions. Of course, we hold ours indoors, but we still have dancing. We still incorporate talents. There's usually what's the thing where you throw the flags? What's that cool thing where you throw? Color guard. Thank you. Actually, I have to give a shout out. Miss Tina here was the sponsor, is that what you call them, for my May Fete dance, which is pictured on the screen, my senior year of high school. Thank you.
Yes.
And my speech teacher. Where would I be without you? Not here.
You wouldn't be speaking. Wait, was there a Rocky Horror theme? Is that what I see?
So here's the thing. Yeah, I did a Rocky Horror thriller mashup, yes, for May Fete. I think the theme was Sweet Dreams, so we did a nightmare.
Sure.
Which is very, here's the thing, how sweet, because
It's
now
so
I'm
sweet.
dressed as Rocky Horror.
I was about to say, Rocky
20
Horror,
years
ever heard of
later.
it? It's perfect.
In my hometown.
It is a sweet dream.
But yes, what began as a ritual to ensure all the women were going to be fertile and bring forth new life, it now lives on, the maypole, lives on as a way for all of us senior girls to gather and say one last goodbye to each other.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really sweet tradition, and I love it. But here's the thing. It's October. The veil is thinning every day. We're all here for the same reason.
the reason for the season. It's time to get spooky.
Let's get spooky.
I'm going to start with a topic that's going to be probably the hardest pill to swallow. Monsters.
Yes!
Lauren, will you teach everyone what a cryptid is?
Who out there, show of hands, has heard of a cryptid? That word. Because I've
We
learned
love
more and more. I know, see, way fewer. But yes, love that you have. So a cryptid. It is a creature, it could even be a plant, something that exists, lives, thrives in some way, whose existence is just suggested and has not been confirmed by actual science. Key characteristics will include that lack of scientific proof, of course, but all this anecdotal evidence, like eyewitnesses, when you see those fuzzy pictures that are like, I saw Bigfoot in the woods, or just some huge creature that you can't explain, something that popped up out of the water, Loch Ness Monster, I like to call her, Nessie. My girl Nessie. So it could be an undiscovered species or an extinct species that has resurfaced, but we just do not have the scientific evidence. People like to call it pseudoscience. I just like to call it an adventure into monsters. It could be the Mothman, the Jersey Devil, the Flatwoods Monster, or an Illinois favorite, the Thunderbird. Some might have heard of it. And there is even a science or a pseudoscience called cryptozoology, and it is the study of these creatures because there are people out there who commit their entire lives to this.
Absolutely.
Studying, coming up with theories, and taking all of the photos, all of those eyewitness testimonies, and trying to come up with enough information to say, what the hell is that thing? And those are our cryptids, our monsters. And I always like to say, it's fun to believe.
It is fun to believe.
In the entire almost 10 years we've done this podcast, I always say that. Like, of course there could be science against it. I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's fun to believe. Bigfoot's real.
Bigfoot
I
is real.
really hope Nessie is real because I want to ride on her back in Scotland.
No, I'm putting
and
my foot down. Bigfoot is absolutely real.
I think so too. I think a Thunderbird is real too. Fight me, see me outside. So those are cryptids.
Yeah, there's 140 sightings of Bigfoot in this country a year, and obviously you can roll your eyes at like all of them, all of the people. Yes. Are we gonna roll our eyes at all of the people? And not to mention that like every single continent has Bigfoot sightings, except for one, Antarctica, because no one's there to see them.
Yeah, but nobody goes there. It's too cold, and you can't be there long.
No, you can't. But we are not here today to talk about a big hairy man. We're here to talk about something with feathers.
And lives in Illinois, we hope. Yeah. We hope and we wish.
So I have a quick story, actually. When I was in 8th grade, this was about 2001, I was 12 or 13 years old. I was in my backyard in Walnut Hill, and I was with a friend who was a couple years younger than me. My sister Jamie was there too, but she was inside for some reason, which she holds over my head to this day. We were hanging out in the swing set in my backyard when I saw my friend look up and just terror crossed her. I mean, the blood drained from her face, and she was just terrified. So I obviously looked up to see what she was seeing, and I can't describe what I saw to you. It was the biggest bird I've ever seen. It was so big that I was frozen in place, and tears were streaming down my face, and I couldn't move. I just watched it. It never flapped its wings. The whole time it flew over my backyard, over the house, and about when it got over my house, without even like talking to each other, she took off running. I took off running after her. We're screaming and crying, and we ran inside, and the only knowledge I had in my head to make any sense of this was I told my mom, like, there's a dinosaur outside.
Yeah.
A dinosaur flew over our house.
I think you were like, it's a pterodactyl. Like,
yeah, I mean, I loved Jurassic Park, and like the only thing that came close to what I saw was a pterodactyl.
Oh my God.
It was so scary, and my mom and sister believed me and my friend because we were just so distraught. So we all ran outside. By then it was gone. But I thought I was crazy for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. This was 8th grade. But 4 years, I was just looking up birds.
What kind of bird was
I
this?
looked at condors. I looked at eagles. I looked at hawks, albatross, pelicans, vultures, owls. Nothing looked anything like what we saw that day.
Right.
And I just felt crazy. I felt like I saw something that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Well then, in 2005, Christmas of 2005, my parents, because I'm the same person that I was in 2005, my parents bought me this book. It's Weird Illinois, Local Legends and Best Kept Secrets by Troy Taylor. Highly recommend if you can find this book anywhere, because it tells you everything, like roadside attractions, hauntings, just weird tidbits about Illinois. So it's Christmas Day. I have this new weird obsession under my arm. We go down to my grandparents' house, which is literally like 1.8 miles from our house, right? It's Walnut Hill, so that's a neighbor. That's your neighbor. It's 1.8 miles away. And I've got this book, and I'm reading it, and I'm flipping through, and I see this. I was freaking out. I mean, look, children playing, looking up, shadow. That was like me. I'm that little girl in the corner.
That's the shit.
Only crying.
That's absolutely insane. That wingspan?
I was freaking out, and I was like, that's what I saw, that's what I saw, that's what I saw. And eventually, my granny comes over, and she's like, what? And I was like, it's a giant, enormous bird. It can't possibly exist. I saw it. And she looked at me in the most nonchalant way I've ever seen, and she was like, oh yeah, Grandpa and I saw that. And I was like, Granny, what? What do you mean? And she was like, 3 or 4 years ago, it flew up through the backyard over the pond.
Yeah, we saw that, went through our trees. It was fun.
Yeah, she was like,
chill.
Never seen anything like it.
Excuse me, Granny?
I was like, what? She was fine.
She said it like it was nothing.
I know. So,
but did you feel so validated? Did you like...
So validated. And also just like, it made me learn a lesson that like, if you don't tell people, because I had not told a single person.
Right.
The only people that knew that I saw this creepy, weird bird was my mom and sister, because they were there.
Right.
And the friend that saw it with me.
Uh-huh.
I won't say her name because I don't want her to be like, you told the whole town I saw a crazy bird. So
don't tell them about that.
Don't tell them about the crazy bird story. They won't believe it. Yeah, if you don't tell people these weird experiences you have, you'll never know that like other people have them. And it turns out,
has that experience.
Yeah, once I had a name for this bird, I found out I wasn't crazy. Actually, there are a ton of people who have seen it too. Stories and legends about this bird date all the way back to ancient native tribes. Obviously, you guys have been to Alton, Illinois. Mm-hmm. You've seen this cliff art of the Piasaw bird. That's what they call it, the man-devouring bird. Ooh, look at that underbite.
I know, that is real. Those teeth are real intense coming up out the bottom. Ooh. I like the green hair, possibly.
Oh, wow, I don't think I ever noticed the green hair. This painting that's on the cliff now, it's not the original. That's just what's there now. And it's actually really faded now, too. It's not that clear.
Interesting.
But anyways, the original art that was on that cliff, so old, we don't even know when it was made. Yeah, we have no idea. The earliest written history of it comes from the journal of a Jesuit missionary named Jacques Marquette, who described the bluffs in a journal all the way back in 1673. Oh, boy. That's how old it is. Wow. There's a map that he made. I don't know if you can see, but the spelling of Mississippi is Mississippi.
I love it. It's cute.
Jacques was the first European to explore and map the northern portion of the Mississippi River. And it was him and a French-Canadian explorer named Louis Joliet. So those are some familiar names there.
Oh, yeah.
Joliet, Illinois, named after Louis. And we have Père Marquette State Park up there. And that was named after Jacques, actually.
That is so cool.
Oh, and also,
Illinois history.
You know what's crazy?
What?
So I went to church camp the year that I saw the Thunderbird. Like, say I saw it in spring, maybe it was after. But that year, I went to church camp at Père Marquette State Park. And the campsite I stayed in was called Camp Piasaw.
Oh,
and I had no idea the whole time.
That's too much.
I know.
It's all meant to be. We're all connected.
So anyways, legend has it that these birds existed, that they were mostly pests in that they would carry away like domestic dogs, supposedly horses as well once those came to America. But one day, one of the birds seemed to get a taste for human flesh and began to like attack the tribe. So the chief of the tribe went to talk to the spirit guides, which is code for do a lot of drugs and get visions. And the visions told him to kill the bird, which, like, I could have told you that. I could have told you to kill the bird. You didn't need to take mushrooms, but
Sure.
I get it. So they tracked the bird down. They found it in like a cave near the bluffs and hit it with about 20 poison arrows. So that'll do it.
Is that what did it?
Yeah.
It took 20?
Well, I don't know the count.
I know.
I mean,
right.
approximately. We'll say approximately.
Just nervous. Okay.
Poisoned arrows.
Took it down.
And they painted the mural as a celebration, but also as a warning in the area to be like, this thing is freaking out here. Watch your back.
It's coming for you.
It's coming
for you. It likes human flesh now, so watch your back.
Now, some people are obviously skeptical about the story being based on something real, but that mural was the largest ever recorded Native American painting ever found in North America.
Whoa.
And it was on the side of a cliff, so I just feel like
That's
to put that much work into something, I just feel like maybe there was something to it. Maybe something more than just...
It's gotta be real.
Maybe
it's fun
drugs.
to
We
believe.
don't know. I don't know if they,
fun to believe.
Go through that much trouble for a made-up story.
I don't think.
Now this
is
a female pious song.
Okay.
This was from an 1678 French explorer's map. You can tell she's a girl because of her beautiful eyes.
Look at those eyes. Oh! Oh, well.
She's gorgeous.
All right. Yes. I feel like she's looking at both of us at the same time. Little cross. But she got them lashes, so I'm here for that. She's got them lashes. That's good.
Now you know what a girl looks like.
We love her slay. So.
This was a German artist and scientist named Henry Lewis. He painted this around 1850, and that's kind of will give you an idea about what the original art may have looked like. But even in 1850, I mean, this was based on a journal written in the 1600s.
Right.
So, like, he's also going off of the writings of someone. So we don't know what it actually looks like.
Describing it. But I like how similar all the art is. That's very cool.
So the art that's there now.
Green hair went to the green face. And now we got some blue eyeshadow.
Not the original. This one was, I think in the 60s and 70s was when this guy was up, but look at that guy.
Hey. That does feel 60s or 70s. That feels like Woodstock, like the eyes are saying like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I like him. I like the beard too.
I do
like
too.
All of it has that, like every one of the versions has had that spirit.
There was one report in the 1860s of some explorers going up in the caves in Alton and discovering an unusual amount of human bones in some of the higher, harder to reach caves.
No, I don't want it.
I mean, it's gotta live there, right?
It has to be.
Look at those creepy holes.
What's in the holes?
Those are all just like caves in the bluffs of Alton.
All right, well, definitely something is living in there. I don't know what it is.
Throughout the history of the region, hundreds of people have seen whatever it is. In the 1940s, there was a rash of sightings. One happened April 4th, 1948. It was reported by an Army colonel named Walter F. Sigmund. Walter said, "I thought there was something wrong with my eyesight, but it was most definitely a bird, not a glider or a jet plane. It was of tremendous size." And on April 24th of that year, just 20 days later, a handful of people saw the bird. Flight instructors at the local airport said that the largest one, quote, cast a shadow as big as a Piper cub from 500 feet up. That's a plane.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I didn't know.
That's a plane with a 35-foot wingspan, by the way. That's a big shadow.
That's huge.
Yeah. Other witnesses maintained that the birds were as big as airplanes and bigger than any eagle they had ever seen. Now, in 1977, there was a particularly harrowing story. It was on the evening of July 25th at approximately 8:10 p.m. A woman named Ruth Lowe of Lawndale, Illinois, was cleaning up after dinner while her kids played outside in the yard until she heard a scream and ran to the door and saw a bird carrying her 56-pound son away. Now, it didn't go far. I think it got a couple feet off the ground. She claims that she held on to her son the entire time and just hit the bird over and over again until it dropped him.
That. So he was dropped and he survived.
Yeah, he's fine. He's totally fine.
I was like, how is the story ending? I hate it. But that is the most awful thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I'm so sorry
I don't like
about
it
that.
at all.
I'm definitely going to tell you worse things tonight. So
That's really great. I'm really excited.
the bird carried him over 40 feet. They went to the police station. They were laughed out of the police station.
Sure.
And actually, even after that, Marlowe, the boy that got snatched, he was called Bird Boy. He was bullied. The family had dead birds thrown on their porch.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is why people that have
Oh,
weird
terrible.
things like this happen to them just don't say anything to anybody ever.
Right. So it's
Because-
like, well, look what happens.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
everybody.
want
They're
dead birds on
dead
my
birds
porch.
on the lawn. Yeah, you don't want that.
But that was not the
Whoa.
last sighting in 1977. Only 5 days later, a Bloomington mailman reported seeing 2 of them, and he was a really great witness because he had seen a California condor in real life, which is what most people say, like, you're just seeing a California condor.
Right.
It's like, but what's the first word of that? California condor. Illinois?
Yeah.
And he said that whatever he saw was bigger than a California condor. And then a few weeks later, on August 11th, 1977, there was another major Thunderbird sighting. Guess where that one was? It was in Centralia. It was Centralia, Illinois.
Hey, Centralia.
John Chappell told the Centralia Sentinel that around 7 a.m. that morning, a giant black bird landed in a tree above the small pond on his farm. He said from about 400 feet away, he approximated this thing's wingspan was at least 10 to 12 feet. His wife, Wanda, said that standing up, this bird had to have stood at least 4 feet tall, and she's quoted as saying, it looked like a prehistoric bird. It looked like a prehistoric bird. It was really fantastic.
It just feels like a dinosaur.
She said the head didn't have any feathers, and its neck was long and crooked, almost S-shaped.
Boo.
Body was covered in charcoal-colored feathers. I couldn't tell much about the feet, but it had long legs. And then the bird eventually flew off towards Raccoon Lake.
I would just vomit and pass out. Like, that is the worst thing you could ever describe to me. I can't imagine just seeing that in front of me. Like, I love Jurassic Park, but, like, not in my yard. You know what I mean?
not
Like,
here,
don't come to my
not
house,
now.
please. Like, that's fine. Stay on the screen.
Here's the thing. Maybe we're all just seeing real big birds and getting spooked.
Real big birds.
Or maybe there really is something enormous hiding in cliffside caves in Illinois.
Cryptids.
Let's talk about ghosts.
Let's do some content stuff.
Let's talk about ghosts. There are a lot of theories about what paranormal activity is. We are going to share some of those today. The most common of these theories is that paranormal activity are spirits of the dead.
I think we can all relate to that one. That is like that's what's in the movies. That's what's everywhere. I do want to say we like to keep it real here at Keep It Weird, even though I've been saying this entire podcast, it's fun to believe, and we do stand by that. But we also like to put the science forward. Sticking to myself. We like to put the science forward along with the paranormal and the supernatural. Of course, I want to believe that the paranormal part is real, but we're just going to put it all out there. So everybody buckle in. Spirits of the dead, the classic ghost story, the soul of a person who has not moved on. These spirits seem aware, interactive, sometimes mischievous, which we really like. Might be like playing little tricks. And a spooky example would be the Bell Witch of Tennessee. It was the tormented Bell family in the early 1800s. This was an entity that spoke It could slap, it could hit, it could predict future events. It was maybe prophetic. And also it wasn't just an echo, it had some intelligence and it seemed aware of where it was. So this was a moment where it was like, you know where you are a deceased person and you're interacting. However, when science gets involved, to give the other argument, psychology could explain that with stress and grief and suggestion, families under major strain are more likely to interpret ordinary events as supernatural. But here's the problem, is there are shared experiences. And you can't deny when people don't know each other and they're saying the exact same thing, the same story, the same experience, the same conversations, the same vision, all of that. I don't know, science, I think you're wrong here. Just saying.
Yeah, that's when it gets weird. This isn't really what I believe is going on. I've had some instances that made me question it, but I just feel like if there's life after death, I don't think they'd spend it walking around an old house.
I don't think so either. It's like, and it's what I believed my entire childhood. I was always like, ghosts are just dead people, but now I'm like, no, I don't think that's what you do.
No. But there are other theories that we find more plausible.
Emotional imprint.
Emotional imprint. Love this one.
So some locations might feel heavy, sad, or charged even without seeing an actual figure or entity, which I've always found interesting because we've experienced that even in our amateur ghost hunting experiences. We've walked into spaces and been like, I feel heavy, or like I'm smelling something. Sometimes it's like it can be any part of your senses where you're like, this is dark, this is heavy, it's weird. It can be a spot that has had tragedy, mass, death, etc. Prisons, battlefields, hospitals, they are notorious for this, of course. And it could be in a home, it could be in a school, farmhouse, whatever, but if there is bad energy or even strange energy, your body will feel it and not really know why. And if you're open to it, you could maybe experience something, even more so. But I don't know if anyone has ever had that experience and been like, I walked into this room and I just needed to leave, or like, the energy changed immediately. I know you have had that in many places. Yeah. But yeah, you can kind of open your mind to it. The Pantages Theater in
I can't even go
LA,
there.
I know. She won't even go there.
There's a theater in Los Angeles that has like touring off-Broadway shows, and it's where Howard Hughes went crazy. That's where he was like wearing buckets on his feet and keeping his pee and all that crazy stuff that he was doing. And I've been to 2 shows at the Pantages in my life, and I left at intermission both times. Because I literally could not sit in that theater. There was something about it. I just felt like I was being choked.
It's crazy.
I've never heard anyone talk about it either, so maybe it's just me.
And I've gone there so many times. I'm like, I had a lovely evening.
Great.
I know, but that's nothing to turn away from, because you felt ill twice there. So that's an insane thing. It's also having an open mind. So it's all about that. Another example of that, feeling the dread, visitors going to Gettysburg, of course, often report overwhelming dread, phantom gunfire, the smell of gunpowder, again, it can hit every sense, and it's as if the land is remembering itself. So that's that emotional imprint. And then I included Ashley and Lauren have felt dread and darkness many times. But again, we have to go to the science side, I guess. Human perception is sensitive to atmosphere. Wide open spaces, unusual acoustics, and suggestion can make us feel uneasy, but geologists will say that quartz-rich stone and flowing underground water can act like natural recording devices, trapping and releasing energy in ways that we don't fully understand in our brain. But it is trapping and releasing energy constantly, and so paranormal investigators believe that when they're picking up on that, it is, okay, we are just picking up on the past. These are entities, these are spirits, when sometimes it can literally just be energy.
Yeah, totally. But science also, there's a lot of cool science happening right now, and cool experiments with infrared photography. Mm-hmm. And actually, so here's thermography and emotion recognition. Forgive me while I get a little sciencey here for a second, but I read this study back in 2014. It was called Thermal Infrared Imaging and Psychophysiology. And essentially what it was about measuring human emotions based on thermal imaging. And so when you look at like what is heat, for example, because everyone's like, well, it's just heat. It's like, well, heat is literally energy. Like the measure of temperature is just the measure of the kinetic energy of the atoms and molecules within an object or system. It just so happens that thermometers are, yes, recording temperature, but temperature is actually the measure of kinetic energy. And that's what's happening like when your body gets a fever. It's just that all these different things have been activated, and it raises the temperature because it's raising the activity within cells of your body. But emotions also cause changes in body temperature, and the places of your body that release energy during specific emotions, they all look different under thermal imaging. And infrared cameras have been used in rooms to measure how long energy lasts once a person leaves said room. And what they found was that extreme emotions produce stronger energy and also linger up to 4 times as long as mild emotions. So when we are in a space and we are angry, sad, or scared, the energy lingers longer. And this is measured on people who are, like working themselves up into a frenzy. It's never actually been measured on people who are actively experiencing trauma.
Sure.
So we don't even know what the heck those
I can't even imagine.
look like, and how long that energy would linger before it dissipates in the room. And you can say like, oh, well, it's just heat. It's not, because they've tried it with hot cups of coffee. They tried it with curling irons. That energy dissipates immediately. It does not linger in the same way that the thermal imaging of a human being leaves in a space. So imagine the anger, fear, or sadness of multiple people, maybe even hundreds of people in a single area, and how long it would take for that energy to dissipate, and what effects that lingering energy would have on someone.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, have you ever just like walked in a room and been like, ooh, the vibes are real off in here, and then you find out that like the 2 people had gotten into a fight.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
before
I was
you got
thinking
there,
about that.
you're like, I felt it as soon as I walked in.
I see.
So that's what we mean by an emotional haunting, an emotion that has imprinted itself on a physical location. And unfortunately, we can't talk about hauntings without talking about death, and oftentimes death is very sad, which is definitely the case for our town's most famous haunting. So we'll start with an untimely death. Miss Harriet Ann Marshall, aka Violin Annie.
Does everyone from Centralia know about this story?
I can't imagine. Is there anyone in this room who doesn't know who Violin Annie is? Not a hand. What? Amazing. She's
I love
beautiful.
that.
She's gorgeous.
Love
So growing up, I had heard the terrifying, tragic, horrific tale of Violin Annie, like I'm sure most of you have. When I was younger, kids would say that she was killed by her own father. Sometimes they'd even throw in that he beat her to death with her own violin and then hid her violin in the walls of his house.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now her statue casts an eerie glow, and you can hear her violin playing in Elmwood Cemetery, doomed to haunt the grounds until her murderer was brought to justice.
Okay.
Well, that's not what happened.
Oh.
That's not what happened.
I was hanging on your every word. I love a good urban legend. I'm here for it. Okay, but what's going on?
No, that's not what happened to Annie. But before we get to her death, we have to talk about Centralia in 1890 when she died. Centralia was hopping, okay? It was the place to be in the 1800s. In 1853, 2 original branches of the Illinois Central Railroad converged in our town, which is how we got the name Centralia when we became a city. And this provided not only an economic boom to our town, but it brought an enormous wave of new residents, especially in the 1870s when the Illinois Central Railroad switched to using coal to power those trains instead of wood. Because in 1874, coal deposits were uncovered and our first mine was opened, which then brought in even more residents, specifically job-seeking immigrants, to our town.
All right.
And at that time, much like any other time in our town's history, in any small town anywhere, there were prominent family names. And Marshall was one of those names.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was a big deal.
Scott Marshall, Annie's father, was a doctor. His office was actually on South Locust Street, which we're on Locust right now, aren't we? Yeah, we're on South Locust. So his office was on South Locust.
Okay, that's even more exciting.
I know. He started his medical career in Centralia. Actually, he quickly became a fixture of this town. And even after he moved to Chicago, he still owned a considerable amount of downtown properties here.
Okay.
And he would come down several times a year. So he was a man
Big
in the
deal.
town. Yeah.
Big deal.
This was also a time in history where we didn't have a 24-hour news cycle regarding everything in every country, everywhere. So local newspapers, like the Centralia Sentinel, actually featured local news that could be anything from, like, here are the different ailments that Dr. Marshall treated. Like, there's one about a kid who shot his own hand off. Or some legal drama. There's another one about legal drama.
Spilling the tea.
Yeah, Dr. Marshall was getting sued at one point, and he thought that it was a conspiracy against him from all the other doctors in Centralia.
Oh my God, you thought all
The
the doctors were out to get him?
drama!
I know, I kind of love the drama though.
I know, same. But it could even be something as simple as Dr. Scott Marshall and his wife have returned from Chicago. That was the news story.
Congratulations, headline
They
news.
came back.
It's beautiful. Welcome home.
But truly, like, if one of the
Can't believe that
Marshalls
was news.
took a dump, the town knew about it. It was a
They
big name.
used a public restroom, everybody. It's fine.
These are some of my favorites. This one's a young man from a rural district appeared at the Ashley post office last week, called for a 2-cent stamp, which was handed to him when he asked, "How much is it?"
Embarrassing.
Or this one, John Meeker of Central City fell on the sidewalk in the village last night and fractured his left wrist very badly. Dr. Scott Marshall dressed the wound, but Johnny will let someone else drive the milk wagon for a while.
What do the two have to do together? What? Why is the milk? What's the milk
He
wagon?
drives the milk wagon,
Okay.
and now he can't.
All right. All right, it felt like a lot was going on there.
And then this one, Jim Roberts was driving around delivering Pittinger's groceries with a new mule and a new wagon this morning.
How dare
We will
you.
not vouch for the mule, as you can never tell what a mule will do. But the wagon is first class. I just love that in the newspaper. They were like, new
Never
mule
know
in town.
what a mule will do. New mule in town, everybody.
We don't know what he's
What
gonna do.
will he do next? I
Something-
wish the news was still like that, though. You know what I mean?
I swear to God, this is what I
I-
wanted out of Facebook.
I live in fear every day. I would rather somebody say, you know what, mules are unpredictable. That's what I want in my news.
And the town has a new one. But something that was also very different about the world at that time is vaccinations, in that we didn't have them.
Sure.
So in 1890, there were 27,815 deaths caused by diphtheria in the United States, and half of those deaths were children under the age of 5.
Oh my God.
It was absolutely horrific.
That's so sad.
I found this particularly upsetting news clipping from 1889. Miss Annie Marshall has been quite ill with an attack of fever, but is reported convalescing today, followed by a little child of Mr. Simons living in the Willard block has a sick child with the throat trouble. And if I were to guess, that little child in the Willard block did not make it, because the throat trouble was how most publications described diphtheria before it really started taking people out. Yeah.
Jeez.
But Annie survived this sickness. I think it was just a cold or flu or something. But she did die the next year, unfortunately. And as you can see here, May 9th, 1890, she was performing a violin solo at church. And then by October 1st, she had passed away.
Wow. All just in a couple of months.
Yeah, she'd been sick for 2 weeks, and September 30th, 1890 at 1:40 a.m., she passed away at 11 years and 23 days.
So it was sickness that she had and just it couldn't be treated.
Yeah.
So no father involved, no violin in
No.
the walls. Okay.
No.
Right.
No, he loved her very much, actually.
Aww.
He loved her so much that he made the memorial of her in Elmwood Cemetery.
That's the reason that beautiful structure is there.
Yeah, him and Scott and her mother, Eileen, were crushed. And 2 years later, her monument was delivered to what was then Centralia Cemetery, is now Elmwood Cemetery. And it was a life-size statue created by a famous sculptor in Italy. And it was boasted as one of the finest and most costly pieces of monumental work to be found in southern Illinois when it was announced. On the headstone was engraved, "Each year of your life was a new song, more delightful than all before."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. And she has her violin.
Yeah. She loved her violin. Dr. Marshall stayed and worked in Centralia for a few more years before he moved his family up to Chicago. Eileen made it 20 more years before passing, and though we aren't sure how she passed, we know she died very suddenly in her own home. And after her death, a new inscription was added to the back of the Marshall Memorial by Scott that reads, "Earth has no charm that death will not destroy," leading many to believe she took her own life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the lore of Violin Annie, like, is there something that you're supposed to do? Like, do you go to the cemetery and, like, do something at night?
No, I mean, a lot of the lore that I always heard growing up was that you went on the anniversary or near the anniversary of her passing.
Okay.
And you would hear her violin playing in the cemetery. These are the death announcements for Eileen and Scott. Scott died in Chicago in 1922. This gorgeous painting of Annie and her brother E.B. E.B.'s a mystery. I can't find a single thing about E.B. No clue, but he existed because there he is. This was painted a year after she passed, actually. It was
under the radar.
Yeah.
That is beautiful, though. I love
But there's no brutal murder, so how did we get there?
Right. How did the story take that
Well,
turn?
a lot of people think, like, oh, it's just kids trying to be scary, but
Sure.
actually, there was a long time legend, like all the way back to the early 1900s, that the Marshall family was cursed, and that Annie died due to that curse, and that Eileen and Scott went mad, which was kind of a euphemism for depression and suicidal ideology. And all of this eventually morphed into the murder story, but it's actually really common. A family curse is something that can't touch you.
Oh.
Because the family is the one that's cursed.
Right.
Like it's like personal protection. It's like psychological protection. And in times where death was not only common, but very likely to touch you personally, placing a family curse is that protection. Like we had diphtheria, we also had Spanish flu, we had measles and polio, then we had 2 world wars. There was a lot going on. Death was prominent for a lot of people. When your reality is that scary, you kind of put up psychological protections from them. And if you assign the curse to the family that had the tragedy, it's a way to protect yourself from losing your young children to disease. Okay. Because if it can happen to the town's most prominent doctor,
right,
it can definitely happen to you.
Nobody's safe. Yeah.
Damn. As for the monument in Elmwood Cemetery, it remains a reminder that death comes for us all, and whether that reminder is accompanied by an eerie glow or soft violin music, that is up for debate.
How far away from the cemetery?
We're very close. I'll actually be showing you a map in a little bit for something.
Hooray!
I have never heard the music myself, but I've talked to people that I trust who have said that they have heard.
You trust that they've had that
the
experience.
music and heard, and there's no logical explanation for it aside from that it's possible that it's all in our heads. Damn. But, which, by the way though, is kind of what I feel all paranormal experiences are, like in our heads, but that doesn't mean we're making it up. I just think that every single experience we have is tied to a little bit of like a psychic ability, like a sixth sense.
It's something in us.
Yeah, that allows us to experience these things and see these things.
I totally agree, and you do have to be a little bit open to it.
But our town, just like most others, has an unimaginable amount of untimely deaths, for sure. But we also have a major disaster.
I don't know about this.
At 3:26 p.m. Sorry, I had mashed potatoes and a roll, and it was really good.
That was also the smallest burp that's ever happened compared to what I've heard you unleash before.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
I know I'm worse. I know, but I'm worse. I just was saying, that was very polite. That was very nice.
At 3:26 p.m. on Tuesday, March 25th, 1947, the sirens blew at the Centralia Coal Company mine number 5 in Wamak, and being a mining town, everyone knew what that meant. There was an explosion that occurred when a buildup of coal dust was ignited, and it trapped 142 men underground.
142?
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
My granny was actually walking home from school with her sister at the time when she heard the sirens, and their father worked, my great-grandfather worked at the mine, so they were two of the many worried women
Of course.
of the town.
That's really scary.
That night was horrific. Over 500 people showed up to the mine to either help or to wait to hear the fate of their loved ones. And my granny Dorothy and her sister Betty actually didn't even hear from their dad till the next day because he'd been there helping to try and recover the trapped men.
Helping people.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see, but this picture on the left just about broke my heart. Those are the wives and mothers of the miners waiting beneath their husbands' and sons' clothing in the warehouse to see if they emerged from the mine.
They would come back.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Only 31 men emerged. 65 men were killed by burns and other injuries, and an additional 45 men died by what they called afterdamp, which is essentially they were asphyxiated underground.
Wow.
Members of the Centralia Lions Club worked day and night for 5 days to find the remains of victims trapped underground. They sat with every single wife and mother waiting for news and asked them all kinds of questions about their husbands, fathers, sons, whether they wore glasses, did they wear a watch, did they own any special cigarette case, did they have missing teeth, like anything they could use to identify the bodies as they were recovering them. The Centralia Sentinel was posting the names of the deceased, each victim as they recovered them. So people were lined up outside all day waiting for new names to be added. The Red Cross served sandwiches, coffee, donuts around the clock for waiting relatives and everyone working. And soldiers from Scott Air Force Base even came to help carry stretchers. And by the 29th of March, they were able to retrieve the remains of the last 31 dead, the men who did not die in the initial explosion but were trapped underground as the mine filled with gas. The rescue workers found messages scrawled on the rocks above a number of the victims, sitting in a circle that said, "Look in everybody's pockets. We all have notes. Give them to our wives."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The notes were devastating.
But also, I'm sure that was, I mean, as devastating as it is, like so special in a way to have that final message. It's like,
Yeah, to
they
be
wanted
able to have a
profess,
goodbye.
Right. Yeah.
It was later determined that the message that was written on the wall was by Joe Bryant, who had several notes of his own found in his pockets to his wife and children. Like this one, "My dear wife, goodbye. Name the baby Joe so you will have a Joe."
Oh my gosh. Breaking my heart.
She had a girl and she named her Jody.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Well, that's beautiful. I love seeing like all the people that also came together to help too.
Whole
That was,
town.
like, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Whole town. One of the survivors, actually, Joe Pick Jr., wrote a quick piece for the Sentinel. Well, he didn't write it. That's him. He was convalescing, but the Sentinel did a quick piece on him. And I have something that he said that I wanted to share with you because it was just so incredible. He said, "I looked at my watch and I saw it was pretty near quitting time, and that was around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. We started up, laughing like we always do, and thinking of the fresh air we would be getting in a few minutes. We were about 500 feet underground when all of a sudden there was a rumbling explosion that rocked everything. I was knocked cold for a minute, and when I came to, I could feel the earth still trembling. There was so much dirt and coal dust, it was almost impossible to breathe. You could feel old man death rolling through the tunnels and corridors. There was a terrible confusion, enough to make a man feel crazy. I felt sick all over. It's true about your whole life unfolding before you when you think you're a goner. It's just like the movies. I remembered I had been mean to a dog once when I was a kid, and I remembered the first time I went to church. I thought of my dad, too, who had gone down in the shaft with me this morning, lugging his lunchbox and yelling, "So long, Jack, see you at quitting time." We separated right after that, so as far as I know, he's still down there fighting for a breath of air with the others. But John Pick Sr. did pass away that day in the mine. I know I'm going to cry. This will not be the first time I've cried on this podcast, TBH.
We've done a lot of crying.
All in all, the mine disaster left 98 widows and 78 fatherless children in Centralia. That is an enormous tragedy. The fear and the pain of the victims, of their families, also the anger they must have experienced as well, because then it became public knowledge that the mine had received numerous warnings.
We didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, about the conditions prior to the disaster. But also, like, there are literal ancestors down there, too, that day. When you look at, like, the list, I mean, like, if I read them out, people in this room would know. There were Copples, there were Frasers, there were Freemans, there were Jackson, Cagle. They were our families. They were the people that once were a part of our family tree.
Right. That's definitely leaving that imprint.
One last quick note, actually. Folk singer Woody Guthrie wrote a song about the disaster called The Dying Miner, with lines like, "Goodbye to Dickie and Honey," which he got directly from the letters from the mines. "Goodbye to Dickie and Honey, goodbye to the wife that I love. A lot of these men not coming home tonight when the work whistle blows. Dear sisters and brothers, goodbye. Dear mother and father, goodbye. My fingers are weak and I cannot write. Goodbye, Centralia, goodbye."
A lot of these men not coming home tonight when the work whistle blows. Dear sisters and brothers, goodbye. Dear mother and father, goodbye. My fingers are weak and I cannot write. Goodbye, Centralia, goodbye.
Okay.
Knife to the heart.
I'm going to come back to the mines later, but right now we need to discuss another paranormal theory, something known as a residual haunting.
Residual hauntings. These are like ghostly replays. So a woman might walk the same hallway night after night, or you'll hear footsteps echo down a staircase at the same time every evening. It might be something that is not interacting, no intelligence or awareness, as opposed to when we were talking about the spirits of the dead. As we said earlier, they are probably aware, a little mischievous. These will have none of that awareness. So it's not a ghost trapped in time, but it's an event that keeps repeating. It is something happening over and over that you are witnessing and experiencing. So there was one historical spooky example, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall in England, famously photographed in the 1930s, and she would descend the same staircase over and over, but not make eye contact with anybody. She was just making her walk, her nightly walk. All the time she was living. But science would say that a traumatic or repetitive event is releasing energy that has become imprinted, as we talked about before, on the environment. Certain building materials like stone or wood may have absorbed this, just like we were talking about with rocks, with the quartz stone before. It can absorb and hold that energy like a recording device. So that's why people like to call it a recording, going on replay. It's just like that VHS tape playing over and over, if anyone remembers those. It could be the stone tape theory, as some parapsychologists call it. Skeptics will argue that it's more likely our brains noticing patterns, filling in gaps, which could absolutely be true. We are expecting to see something because we may know history, we may know legend. So that's what the skeptics will say, but I like to believe.
We don't
believe it.
We're not skeptic at all. No. The theory of relativity, though, tells us that time is not linear.
Right.
Not only is time affected by gravity and motion, but also most physicists today totally agree that time as a dimension is non-linear. We experience it linearly in a straight line, but really it's more like this, or like a sandwich. So things that happen in the past and even things that happen in the future kind of are also happening right now. So when you see possibly you turn a corner and you see a woman in a Victorian dress. She could also be seeing you in your pajama pants and being like,
"What the hell?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What are you?"
So she's not dead. I mean, she is dead, I guess technically, but like you're not seeing her as a ghost, a ghoul. She's alive in her home, and you're also there.
You're both like overlapping with each other, which has
Which
been
is
the
hard
most
to like
fun
wrap your
thing
brain
though
around.
about like our ghost experience, because I feel like when we first started this podcast, we were like, the
What?
dead folks, those are ghosts, and I feel like we've learned so much over time of like, wait, I actually think we're just all experiencing each other.
One of my favorite experiences with a residual haunting, I got to stay a few nights at the Limp Mansion in St. Louis,
yes.
which, if you have a chance, you have to do. It's so crazy. But I was investigating the servant staircase, and I had my dowsing rods, which after the recording, if anyone wants to come up and I can show you how to use some of this equipment, but I had my dowsing rods, and I was holding them in the stairway, and they were just turning like this, almost as if the energy of the stairwell was just up and down because of how many times the servant staircase has been used. People going up and down the stairs. Yeah, it was awesome. Both of the quick tales I'm going to tell you today involve what seem to be residual hauntings. And what's really fun about them is that they start with an unexplainable event that once researched kind of explains what we might have seen. So first up, we have Archie Copple's mansion. Look at that thing! Jeez, oh man. Do you guys remember Archie Copple's mansion out on Jolliffe Bridge Road? Wowzers, bowsers. It was quite the house. Creepy house out off Jolliffe Bridge Road. It was unfortunately torn down in 2014, but there's endless spooky stories out of there from people who lived there or from people who tried to like renovate the place and get it up and running again.
Is there anything on the land now?
No,
Okay.
It's all gone.
Right.
It was totally torn down. It's just like an empty field now.
Mm.
The strange activities that came out of the house, difficult to sleep. Multiple people reported being touched in the house. Multiple people reported the feeling of being pushed or shoved, specifically at the top of the stairs. Not cool, not cool.
Hate that a lot.
Multiple people reported being unable to keep the windows open and shut. They would shut them only to find them opened, or they'd open them only to hear them slam shut.
No thanks.
Now, the reason we would go out there as kids is because so many high schoolers would say that they saw like a figure in the house, like in the window.
You have to go check it out.
You gotta go.
That's what you do in high school. You go check it out.
Figures on the roof. Yuck. Figures in the windows.
Just yuck.
Double yuck. And even a weird report of going into the basement and finding a dungeon.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Goodbye.
As for why it was haunted, I was told that when it was built in the 1800s, the family did own slaves, and that, right there, is enough for me. I was also told at another point in time there was a death on the property, that it was a suspected murder, but it was never investigated. I was told there was a dungeon, that the basement had chains on the walls, and that there was a cemetery on the property. Oh, and possibly underground tunnels that were used for the Underground Railroad operation. There's a lot of lore that comes out of this place.
Wait, the dungeon thing was legit?
No, this is just what I heard growing up. Lauren.
Like I was about to pass out. So I was like, I thought that was a lie.
Well, I was able to debunk some of that.
Okay.
One, the Emancipation Proclamation was issued a few years before the house was built. So Underground Railroad tunnels
doesn't really track right.
Didn't track. Wayne Reed actually was the one who owns the land now, bought the property, did tear it down. I mean, he said like it was unlivable. I mean, you couldn't even stand next to the building. You shouldn't even be near the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crumbling.
It's gonna fall on you.
Had to be torn down, but he said when he tore the house down, he dug up most of the yard. There were no tunnels, but he did find some grave-shaped stones on the property in 2 different places. He said they were old, there were no markings or carvings on them, so he can't be positive they were headstones. But they look like headstones. Yeah.
Okay, well.
He also noted there were shackles on the property.
See?
But actually anchors as part of a horse-drawn block and tackle pulley system.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, so like, looks like shackles.
Sure,
Not
that's the
actually
story.
shackles,
All right,
yeah.
that's the story they're going.
But as far as I can find on property records, there were no unnatural deaths on the property that we know of.
Okay.
At least not in the 20th century.
Doesn't it just look like a bad place?
It looks scary.
I knew nothing
Yeah.
about this. Like, this was all information I'm learning live, and I'm just looking at this house, and I'm like, no, it's a bad house. That's where the evil lives. That's where the demons are, and I don't like it. So I'm actually not buying anything you're telling me.
Well, I have some personal experiences here.
Tell us, Lord.
So, two that I would consider pretty major. Here's the thing, though, and I'm so sorry about this. They both involve photographs that no longer exist. But luckily, there's someone in the audience who can vouch for them, Stephen.
Yay! We have a
Yes,
witness!
Guys, it's my mom's fault. My mom lost it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he also had copies and lost them, so I am throwing him under the bus. Along with
Shared
myself,
stories, as we mentioned
Listen.
earlier, though. That's what brings it together.
This happened back in probably like 2005. A group of us would go out, as we always did, at night. Did not vandalize. Very respectful kids. Thank you very much. But we would always go out there and try and succeed at getting scared. And I would always bring my digital camera to snap pictures. And this was long before I was like a paranormal investigator. I was just a kid with a camera, which is why these photos ended up probably on a hard drive in a dump somewhere. Most of the time, the pictures were just really dark photos of kids running around a yard, but occasionally we would get something very strange. Like one night when we were out there, I was snapping pics in front of the house, and I got this enormous, there was always orbs around, but like orbs can be dust and bugs, and like I don't really buy into the orb
Me
stuff.
either.
It's too
It's just
floaty.
a
Like,
white
who
thing
cares?
that was in the air.
But this orb was enormous and so bright, and it was like right on the front of the house in that center sort of door on the second level. Now, I've done my best to recreate these photos for you, so you can see what I saw
I
because
can't wait to
it
see
matters to the story later. So this was approximately, I'm actually really proud of this one.
this is a really
I'm
good
so
job.
proud of this
I
one.
thought it was
added
gonna
all
be
those
worse.
little orbs myself. And then
That's how
picture,
big
like,
it was?
It was insane.
It's the entire
insane.
door. That's
It's
like
the
Glinda
entire
coming
door.
in her bubble. Like she is here.
Another time I went out there, we took a picture of the front porch. I believe the inspiration for this photo was Stephen was going to pretend to be knocking on the door. But we got something really strange. Stephen, I'm so sorry about this.
Now this is your best Photoshop job. I'm sorry, I thought the first one was the best, but this is it. Steven, you're looking real great. Here
Steven.
comes Steven marching out the house. It's good. Okay,
If
so
it's
what was
not
that?
too much of a hassle, Stephen, will you please stand up for the audience? So Stephen is
You're
6'5".
tall. You were a tall man.
Whatever was standing next to him was 7.5 feet tall.
Oh my god. That's
Stephen's been
horrifying.
6'5" his whole dang life. He's been 6'5" since I met him.
Since he was 4 years old, he was 6'5". What
Now, these
is
are just-
that?
Girl,
Death Eater?
I don't
What is
know.
going on? Like, what's happening?
now these are just weird photos, and even worse recreations of weird photos.
I don't know.
Like,
This is
hello?
beautiful work, I think. I'm obsessed.
But when you learn the history of the house, it's actually kind of interesting. So, okay, side note, pause. Time out on the podcast. One thing I have to tell you that's been really frustrating about researching and preparing for this show is how little people want to share with us. The folks who own Annie Marshall's painting, nothing to do with us. No, thank you. The woman who owns the violin, nothing to do with us or the museum. No, thank you. It's very strange. It's sort of like, what is What happened?
It makes
Why
it
do you
all
hate
weirder
this?
though. Like Ashley kept being like, "Oh, I'm in contact with these people who like definitely have the story," and then the week later, they will not speak
They
to
will
me.
not
They will
speak
actually
to
not
me.
share
They are
any
not
information. I'm
interested
like,
actually
what are
at
the
all.
secrets? What are the secrets?
Well, part of it, I think that maybe, possibly, they think that this isn't going to be a celebration of our town, that it's going to
But it
be
is.
mocking the town. So I'm
Which-
hoping that
yeah.
afterwards, you guys can go and just tell everybody you really love the town.
It is love for Centralia.
Yes, I want to celebrate the town. I want to have all
I want to
this
celebrate it with this photo, which blasted across town hall.
So I partially understand. I understand that part.
It's fair.
But also at the same time, if we can't preserve this history, in a few years, this history is all going to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because very much so in this case, with the Copple mansion, for example, we lost a man last year named Rick Bozeman, who was essentially a Centralia history gold mine. And he had so many documents. It was incredible. His wealth of knowledge was endless. And here's what he was able to uncover about the house. But again, we don't have the physical documentation anymore. So even with him, a historian, looking up this stuff, it's still hearsay. But here's what he found about Copple Mansion. And Stephen, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get you off that thing.
I really loved it. So wait, this is stuff that he had shared before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is what he shared before he passed. The Copple Mansion was built in the late 1800s. The Copples bought the home around 1939. The original owners who built the house owned slaves. There were 5 wells that were first placed here to provide the water needed for all the occupants. Slaves did build this home with their bare hands from scratch, and the wells also provided the water for all the bricks to build this house. What did we say, Lauren, about water and bricks?
Water and bricks are very important for the energy.
This spot here on the second story and the roof, that was known as the Widow's Walk. This is where women would sort of, watch for their husbands to return from war or work or travel in older mansions. The lady and the first occupant of this home had found out her husband fathered 2 children from one of the slaves, which made her furious. Supposedly, she had the woman and the 2 children of her husband killed and thrown into the wells. What?
Ooh,
What?
No, brutal.
But the bodies were then retrieved and buried, and love letters were found in the walls from the husband, some written to the wife, some to the lover. That's a lot.
That's
a lot.
Insane.
But Wayne Reed was able to verify some of that. There were multiple wells on the property, and there were letters found in the walls. Love letters, yes. And those letters actually gave us the name of the person who built the house, Dr. Renault. And I was able to search our newspapers and find that, yep, there was a Dr. Renault. He worked in town in the 1860s. It looks like he worked here from January 1st to April 1st of 1865 as the city physician. And then I believe he was working in Cairo. Is it Cairo or Cairo? What do we say here? Did we say Cairo? Of course.
I had a feeling.
I love it. So the doctor did live here. He was here. He built the house in the 1800s and the 1860s. And people obviously then come and go, well, there couldn't have been slaves then because it was 1860s and Illinois outlawed slavery in 1848. But did they though? They kind of did. It was outlawed unless your enslaved person committed a crime, and then you could keep them on as an indentured servant.
What?
Yeah. And here's the thing. What crime, you ask? Freaking anything. Anything. Like, they had different laws.
What?
Yeah.
But dang. So it could
Yeah.
be like any little thing, then you could keep them on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And it was like that in a lot of
So
places.
that's how this could make sense.
Yeah, you could keep them on and say that they were working off their crime.
Wow.
So it was a way to get around.
So now this can all overlap and make sense.
Well, and I also found articles too from that era where, I mean, we did have radicals in town who still were for the Confederacy and, you know, so
Sure.
it all checks out so far.
Wow.
The location of the love letters, unfortunately, is unknown. According to Wayne Reed, he said the letters were going to be sent to this museum. But we're not sure if that ever happened. We don't have a record of it. We can't find them. But he has the letters.
All right. Stephen is back.
But of all the stories, the circumstantial evidence, the few pieces of real documentation we have start to paint a picture. Like, if that's all true, if that top floor was the widow's walk where she would stand, if there was mistreatment of people, if there was death on the property, it makes the photos we took and lost, sorry about it, all that more interesting. Like, they
Definitely.
totally
It makes
panned
a
out.
lot of sense.
But this next story is wild, so hold on to your butts. So
Hold on to your
we're gonna
butts.
start this one. This is gonna be a ghost story that was sent in by one of our listeners back in 2021. And this listener did ask to remain anonymous when she sent this in. She said we could give her first name today. She wanted it to remain anonymous because her mom was trying to sell her house.
I didn't know that was the reason. That's amazing.
She was like, maybe don't say my name because
She's okay with
trying
it
to
now?
sell. She said you could tell her first name. The house is sold. Someone
And sold. All right, we're
Sucker.
okay.
She wrote in with several experiences in the house. There were things getting knocked off shelves, seeing shadows, hearing knocks inside the walls. Ugh. But this one is the strangest. Lauren's gonna read this story to you.
I was in my first year of college at KC. I was 18 or 19. It was like a Friday night and I was home alone, getting ready to go meet my friends and do some towny stuff. I'm upstairs in my mom's bathroom, and in the house, our upstairs level is open to the downstairs front room, off of which you can see the entrance to the dining room on one side and the living room on the other. I'm walking from my mom's room and I look down to see only what I can describe as a naked human with gray skin, crawling on all fours from the dining room across the front room and back into my living room. Cool. It looked like a human, but it moved faster than any human could on all fours. It couldn't have been my dog because my dog was black and whatever this was definitely bigger than my dog. I froze, but also felt literally no fear, as if my brain was fully in denial of what I just saw. Instead of getting the F out, I decided to go to the living room and see what this thing was. I'm not saying it's a great choice, but I get why people in horror movies may go investigate spooky stuff. I don't, but good for you, Holly. I walk into the living room and I see nothing. I called my brother while I'm walking through the house because I was so spooked, and I told him what had happened. I don't remember calling him, but he says I did. I investigate everywhere, and there is no trace of anything out of place. So I just left, and apparently later told no one else about it and completely chose to edit this entire experience out of my brain. Several years later, we're back at the house with my brother and my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law was talking about something weird that happened to her while she was waiting for my brother at her house alone. I said something to her about nothing like that ever happening to me. Her eyes got big and she said to me, "Are you kidding? You don't remember that naked skidder that ran right in front of you through the house?" So now we just refer to whatever this was as the skidder. And we constantly talk about what could possibly be happening in that house. Who did she sell it to?
I will never tell. The house was built in the 60s. It's not super old. She couldn't figure out, she said nothing notable ever happened here. Well, nothing notable happened in the house, but it turns out her house was built on the land that used to be an orchard.
Okay, is that my house?
Oh my gosh!
We live at...
Do you live above an orchard? Can you imagine if that was your house? I would have you dance on this table. It'd be amazing. You live behind it? Well, you're still going to be haunted by
Yeah,
a skidder.
sorry, you're in trouble.
We take my children to go look at
Okay.
There's an abandoned barn? Oh wait, who lives there? Are they cool? Should we talk to them?
We've actually been trying to get in touch with them to see if we could put a haunted trail.
Yes! They should be giving a tour. They should give us a tour tonight, honestly. I'm so excited! Okay, will you talk to us after? Thank you. Continue, Ashley, sorry. I'm so giddy about this skitter. But sorry if you have to experience.
So sorry that you live there.
I know, sorry that you live in that house.
Now, Perrine's
Anywho.
Orchard.
It got out of hand, I'm so sorry.
Perrine's Orchard, for anyone who doesn't know, used to be over by the old football field, Perrine Street, Orchard Drive. Everybody know it? Yeah. The old Perrine house was built at 1109 South Perrine, and you probably recognize it because you drive past it all the time.
1109
It's
South
still
Perrine is
there.
also so fun to say. 1109 South Perrine is where the skitters are bouncing all around the dive. So this is it?
So that's not the house.
Oh.
This was the Perrine house.
Okay.
He's the one who ran the orchard that she lived
Yeah,
on
that's a
Orchard
beautiful
Drive.
house.
It's gorgeous. Now, not only was the land part of the orchard, but there also used to be streams running through it.
It's the water again, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, these were taken from a map in 1935, but as you can see, that green up top is the reservoir. The blue line snaking out of it and down to the Perrine area are tributaries, all the highlighted areas sort of where the water ran down. Now, the story goes that oftentimes poorer folks in town would swim through these streams to get apples, and occasionally they'd get shot.
Yikes,
And when I
bikes.
heard that, I was like, certainly not.
Sure, that can't be
But
true.
no, absolutely.
No.
He would shoot him.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
They would shoot him usually with just like salt pellets or whatever, but yeah, during like the actual busy season, there was thievery on fruit growing farms. It was actually pretty serious, and they would have like
Jeez.
armed guards that sit around the farm and shoot people that tried to steal food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, some negative
So,
energy happening.
so Holly had talked to her dad. He told her about the orchard that used to live there, and she ended her ghost story with the question, like, is it possible the skitter I saw was a person swimming through the stream to get some apples?
Because
she
the
saw
way
him.
it was crawling, she was like, it could have been swimming.
Yes. And that's what we're talking about, that memory thing.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, this is just cool. I just had to include this. So this is another kind of ghost story from the Perrine house. So I got these actually from, the Centralia Memories page rules. So local Marty, Dylan, Lindsay posts all kinds of photos from the old Perrine house when her family lived there. And Genevieve Perrine would write and hand type individual Christmas poems to send to loved ones every year. And supposedly Mary's mother heard typing sounds coming from upstairs all the time. But also my dad told me a horrible story today about how one time they heard all these noises in the walls, and they were like, oh my gosh, there's noises in the walls, constant noises in the walls. What do? We're haunted. There's noises in the walls. It was bees. Bees. There were so many bees in the walls, and I was like, that's way worse than ghosts.
Honestly, it is. I hate
way
that so
worse.
much more. Bees.
Bees.
Did they break through? They're
No,
just in the
they
walls,
went in,
rattling
looked, and
around.
they were
Oh,
buzzing around.
I hate that. I hate that so much. I would much rather it be a skitter.
Okay.
No
Now,
bees.
I have a final theory regarding Centralia's haunts. Do you guys want to hear it?
She's moving her body in weird ways. It's gonna be good.
But here's the thing about teaching you about this theory. We also have to teach you about a few other things, and I'm so sorry. Lauren, will you start us off? Will you teach us about electromagnetic frequencies?
Oh, yes.
Please?
It's like, which one? Electromagnetic frequencies, or EMFs. And I love that a few people, before we got started, were eating dinner. People were coming up and checking out Ashley's awesome tools over there. And I have a couple of them too. We have EMF readers, which hopefully if some of you stick around, we go on a little hunt around, we'll get to use it. But electromagnetic frequencies, high levels of EMS, EMF can cause hallucinations, the sensation of being watched, and feelings of dread. So there are many examples, but I like to give my little one before Ashley goes into her stories. For example, in the 1980s, there was a family claiming their home was haunted by shadowy figures, and an investigator eventually discovered a faulty fan motor emitting very strong EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and once it was fixed, these hauntings stopped. But the family was still holding strong that they believed something was in there. So you can kind of go round and round and be like, well, wait, like, is it causing something,
Did the
or
EMF
is
cause the haunting, or the haunting caused the EMF?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So our brains are electrical machines. Strong EMFs can directly influence our temporal lobe. So fear and perception are living here, and it doesn't explain every single sighting or ghostly experience, but it can show how invisible forces make us feel haunted, even if we are not necessarily. But I like to believe.
Yeah, of course you do. Everything on Earth is made of energy. The sun is energy. Table's energy. My Crocs are energy.
Yeah, Crocs.
The whole universe is made up of subatomic particles that are constantly in motion and held together to form matter. And people are made of energy too, and the human body operates on frequencies. We know that because we have EKGs that will tell you that our hearts are powered by electrical activity. The brain has a magnetic field. So not only can we emit frequencies, we can also absorb outside frequencies as well. Again, there's that EMF reader. You see ghost hunters carrying these around a lot. We have 3 or 4 of them here tonight. And that's all they do. They just detect electromagnetic frequencies. So put it up against something.
Feels like it's getting
Not quite, but anything that's
it's getting into
electric, it's going to go off. All kinds of electronics will set this device off, but when it gets interesting is when this thing starts going off for seemingly no reason. And when it starts answering your questions, because that means something is happening. Whether it's a ghost making the machine go off or possibly even our own minds, something is causing an anomaly. And whatever it is, it's really fascinating and fun to experiment with. I actually have a short clip for you guys. This is from an investigation in Los Angeles. This is myself, Lauren, and the resident who lived in the home, Robin, who was having some trouble with a male presence named Ben, who I may or may not have accidentally brought into her home years prior, but that's neither here nor there. So, anyway.
Ben has been with you a long time.
Ben was with me for a while. Not a fan of him.
on.
We couldn't get any responses from any of our devices until we kicked the men out of the room, and then everything started going off.
Room. Seems to like that room.
He decided to lay right here.
Cool.
And was standing about right here when I gasped. You like ladies? Maybe you don't like the presence of the men in the room. Oh. Ben, is that you making this go off? Can you do it again? Just flicker.
Not crazy, right?
No, I thought it flicked.
It is flickering.
Yeah.
Hi, Ben.
Ben, we're in my old room now. Jonathan's room.
Jeez, oh man.
And it seems like you are also in here with us. 73 in the shadow, 74 in the light, just in case we get that chill again. 70 degrees, 69.
It's dropping. I feel the cold breeze on my knees
68.
again.
It's almost 5 degrees colder right here than it was earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That I've never seen that ever.
Me neither. Ben, stop it. Ben, stop. Whoa. 74 degrees. Are you serious? No. Uh-huh.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Do you remember? Blast from the past.
Yes, I was like, when was this? 2018?
2017.
Yeah,
This was a while ago.
Oof.
We had temperature fluctuations. I don't know if you noticed in that first clip when we were like, Ben, could you do that again? And the EMF starts going off, And not only did the EMF reader start going off, a dog started barking right outside the window and growling like he was like upset.
Yep.
Upset dog.
At the exact
and then
same time.
The
light came
light
on,
was
like all of a sudden the
and,
light
ugh,
flashed.
it was so much. It was awesome.
It was
though.
a lot.
Also, though, we need to
Good
talk about
pick.
static electricity real quick. Static electricity. This occurs when there's an imbalance of electrical charges. It happens especially in dry air because the moisture in the air is what helps to absorb and redistribute those excess electrons. So what's interesting about static electricity is oftentimes the most active paranormal hotspots are known to have an excess of it, like the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, where Stephen King was inspired to write The Shining, for example. Paranormal investigators have theorized the reason there's so much activity at the Stanley is because of the dry air in the mountains of Colorado. And do you know where else there's a lot of static electricity buildup?
Where?
Mines!
In the mines.
In the mines.
Interesting.
Okay, really quick, and I apologize for this because it sucks, but it's worth it for what I'm going to show you. I have to teach you how to read a mind map. I'm so sorry.
Education first.
So all the mines in Centralia are going to be the diagonal red lines. Those are modified room and pillar mines, pretty basic mine. You dig, you set structures, you dig further, etc. Now this is kind of a little weird. I had to figure out what this means. So the way the mines are outlined on a mind map also means something too. Most of the lines we're going to see today are solid red, and that indicates that it's a not final mind map. And that means that this map was drawn before they were done digging the mine. So in reality, the mine area is probably bigger than what the map shows.
Okay.
So as you can see here, it says the Centralia number 4 mine had over 65 acres mined after the map was made.
Gotcha.
Woof. So that's an interesting one. This is pretty outside of Centralia, but as you can see, there's Junction City up there in the right-hand corner. So, looks like this mine goes down to Jolliffe Bridge Road. Oh! That star represents Copple Mansion.
Boo.
Surrounded by mines. And again, this is a not final mine map, so that mine is potentially maybe even
Around.
totally under the house. Now here, yeah, there we go. Just so you know, I'm not joshing you. Pulled up an actual map. That's Jolliffe Bridge Road. That's where Copple Mansion is. Now here's all of Centralia. Ay. So we've got Womack all the way down there at the bottom. We've got Crooked Creek all the way at the top. So those are 2 enormous mines underneath Centralia. We're going to zoom into the Central City area here. That's where Annie is.
Okay, well.
Right next to the mine.
Right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Jolliffe Bridge Road.
Yep.
Just like Copple Mansion.
There's a cemetery office of Elmwood Cemetery.
Oh,
straight up kissing that mine.
Straight up kissing that.
Here's the
Okay.
south side of town.
Oy.
Look at that.
All right, well.
Orchard Drive, ring a bell to anybody?
Ever heard of
There it is, right next to, guess what? Another freaking mine, right on the edge.
Okay.
That's where Anonymous lived. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Whoopsie, poopsie. What's that?
What is that?
That's Perrine Orchard, but that
Oh.
photo ended up crazy.
A wild photo.
Crazy, thank you. That's where she lived when she saw the skitter. This one might creep you out. That's us, right there. And as you can see,
Hooray.
the mine above us and the mine below us, again, not final mine map. And actually, on that mine index earlier, they explained that this dotted line means that that was definitely not where it ended. And also, they couldn't actually tell how much space was in between these 2 mines. So we're probably on top of one.
We're just
right
now. Over it. Which is why the ghost hunt after this is going to be very important.
But I have more. So this is great. So this is an old news article we found about a house at 110 North Cherry Street. The Plakovich family saw shadow people. They could hear things moving around. They could hear knocking on walls. Their front door would be open in the morning when they made sure to close and lock it at night. And this was corroborated by the woman who lived there before them and said things would move around on their own all the time.
Gross.
North Cherry is right there. Just right down the street.
Cherry.
But how about this? The Hoffman Hart Building in downtown Centralia. The city of Centralia actually hired a paranormal investigative team to come examine it back in 2010.
Thank goodness you said the year, because out of sight at yahoo.com.
Listen.
That feels very 2010.
Yeah.
Just
They don't
want to point
respond to
that
that
out.
email anymore, by the way.
I believe it.
They caught knocking and strange music on audio, as well as a voice saying, "Hey, it's cold in here."
Oh,
Yes.
give him a sweater.
Give him some heat, coach. That's what, when you capture audio on a recording, that's what we in the biz call an EVP, electronic voice phenomena. It's when you record a voice of some kind on your device, but it's not something you hear at the time of the recording. And I actually have one of ours from the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles. Super creepy place, built in 1926. This is where they filmed the ballroom scene in Ghostbusters, where it gets totally destroyed.
phenomenal.
Yeah. But it's also creepy. It's also the very last place Elizabeth Short was seen before her body was found, and she was forever known as the Black Dahlia. So it's a very creepy hotel. In this video, it's not a video, it's just audio, but in this audio, you're gonna hear our EMF detector go off about halfway through the video, and we stop to try and communicate, but we don't hear anything. And we thought it was just an anomaly, but when I went back and checked our audio, we actually did catch something.
Running up and down the hallways and giggling, and guests have complained that they've had knocks at their door and no one is there when they go to open them.
I know. It's so hard to look down there.
Yes.
Yes? What was
Anyone
that?
here? It's Windows.
Well, we just got a ding on the EMF. There's
It's
nothing
not anything electrical.
here.
But there was something there.
Did you hear it?
Did you hear it? Do you want me to replay it?
I know. It's
Okay.
like
We have it on our phone, so if you want to
Oh.
hear it like close up, like next to your ear, we'll let you listen to it. But it seemed to be freaking little girl, which is
Little girl.
exactly what they said was on the floor.
Ashley had just been explaining a story
I was
of a
literally
little
just
girl, and
talking
we
about
just
it.
hear. It sounded like she was singing. It was wild.
Crazy. So that's an EVP. Back to Hoffman Hart, though. They investigated for a total of 5.5 hours and had 5 anomalies occur, including temperature fluctuations, EMF fluctuations, strange orbs and photographs, which we all know how I feel about that, voices and music on audio, and supposedly they captured a video as well, but I don't know what the heck happened to that.
Huh.
And that's 2 blocks away, that building.
Oh boy.
The Sentinel building is also rumored to be haunted. I just sort of grabbed screenshots of a bunch of people when I would post in the Centralia memories. I was like, someone told me about haunted stuff. And people would be like, the Sentinel building, which I toured today. And if that place isn't haunted, no place is. It's crazy there.
Did you feel strange energy the minute
No,
you
it
went
actually
to-
was
okay.
awesome. It was super dope. Yeah, I got to
I
see
mean,
like,
just,
the
like,
old
go
printing
anyway.
press and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, but like
We
just
love
like go check it out.
All right.
Guess what? That's right here too.
Ooh.
Right down the street. People have had experiences at Centralia House, obviously. A lot of people, which is also reopening. Guys, go to Centralia House. It's going to be open again. And that's right here too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's a
So
whole
then
lot going
someone
on.
commented, 805 popular streets haunted.
Popular.
Guess what? Well, it's poplar actually. Sorry, it's a tree. It's tree, not like
Come on.
popular. No, poplar. That's right there, right on top of the mine.
Okay.
How about Beach Street? This
They
is
also look for me.
that was my gift.
Okay.
Our home on Beach Street, the activity was pretty busy when we first moved in. Breathing in the shower, sounds of someone walking up the stairs. You'd open the door, no one would be there. Dark shadow. Room upstairs I won't go in. Vibe is cold.
Our kids say that's where Jim stays. Did you see the end of that?
Yeah. Why do you think I posted that
But you didn't read it. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. My kids say that's where Jim the ghost stays.
Well, my kids are getting adopted because I can't handle
Like
that.
off to boarding school with you. Don't say stuff like that to me.
Now, Beach Street would be the street that's in blue. Again, right around.
Okay, everything is happening right here.
I know. I'm just kind of highlighting how much weird stuff is happening in here. Obviously, we need a much bigger sample size to see if there's a real pattern here, but I found it interesting that every single haunted spot that was sent in for this show is either on top of, surrounded by, or touching an abandoned mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something's going on.
We could take a lot of different things from this information. Possibly it's spirits of the dead, and they are able to use that static electricity to manifest themselves to be seen and heard. Quite spooky.
Sure.
Or possibly the static electricity underground creates a vibrational environment on the surface that allows us to maybe occasionally see beyond the veil into the past.
I like that.
Less spooky, but still pretty spooky. Womp womp. Or it's also possible, of course, that the static electricity buildup hundreds of feet beneath us simply creates a feeling of unease in certain parts of the mines that makes us think we're experiencing something paranormal when we aren't.
We have to look at all the views, so we'll look at the blowing skeptics.
Boo.
Boo.
Boo. No fun.
It's for sure ghosts.
It's Jim.
It's Jim, and that is where Jim the ghost stays. That's what little Trevor, 4 years old, said. I don't know what his name is, but that felt right. That is so horrifying. I can't believe that.
Yeah. But whatever the phenomenon is that's occurring, we honestly, truly only scratched the surface today. Our town has unsolved murders, missing people, a haunted merry-go-round, a cursed cemetery.
Wait. Where's the haunted merry-go-round?
I'm taking you tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
A cursed cemetery, another cursed cemetery.
You are a liar and a thief.
A resident town medium that existed. We have a local who talks to aliens. Can't wait to talk to her. We have the world's weirdest hangout spot. I don't know if anyone's been out
What
here.
is that?
Don't worry about it. That's where we hang out.
Why?
Why would we?
Wait,
Look
is that
at
just
it.
a tunnel?
Yes.
Ew.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We also
that's
have
cool.
one of the largest bell towers standing today, believe it or not. I didn't know that. That's insane to me.
We walked past it today.
We have one of the top 10 biggest balloon festivals in the country, and
I'm
we
scared of
even
fireworks.
have rumors of a satanic cult serial killer in the woods. Still operating today.
Why'd you invite me here?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Out on Jolliff Bridge Road. But all of this makes Centralia a pretty weird place to call home.
Beautifully weird place.
Yes.
I'm already obsessed. Thanks for bringing me. Except for the Devil's Playground thing, I'm not into that.
Well,
That's great.
okay.
All
We'll
right.
skip that
Besides
part.
that, I'm into
We'll
it.
skip that part of the tour.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for coming out and celebrating Centralia with us tonight. We are going to sneak around this place in a bit and see if we can get any weird stuff to happen with some of our mini tools. Believe it or not, everything on this table, nothing was bought for this show. That's just stuff from my house.
That's just
That's
stuff
just
she
stuff
has.
I own, but I have a lot of really cool stuff. An antique spirit rider. I'd love to show you guys how
Yes.
that works. Monster Crawl tomorrow as well. I wanted to let you guys know. Please come out to the Monster Crawl. There's
Still
gonna be
happening, even
costumes.
with the
It's
rain.
Still
Don't
happening. even if it rains, rain or shine, won't be shining, it's at night. Wear your costumes, come out to the monster crawls, all happening in downtown Centralia. There's going to be candy and food and drink and street performers and costumes and scavenger hunts. And it's going to be awesome.
Can't wait.
Before we go, we also want to thank the Centralia Area Historical Society for having us.
Huge round of applause. Thank you for having me.
So cool to be here. We also, especially you, Rick. I know you're hiding back there.
Oh,
there you are. Especially Rick. Thank you for co-conspiring with me for everything on this event. Also, thank you, Simply Soul, for the delicious fried chicken and mashed potatoes. Thank you to Billy Roach, who's the artist who made the Weird Centralia. He incorporated not only Violin Anne and a Go Orphans sign, but if you notice, if you look really closely, there is a Shakespeare rod and reel leaned up against her.
It's good detail. Yes.
And he's not even a local. He just heard my stories.
He's in California right now, but he's a great artist.
And thank you to everyone who shared your stories with us and continue to share your stories with us. We hope to collect as many as we can. So thank you so much. We love you. We love you.
And keep it weird.
I could literally cry. An enormous thank you to our live audience who truly brought the show to life. As you could hear, the audience was happy to participate, laugh, gasp, and had no problem shouting out. Oh, I guess I should tell you, when Amber stood up and asked if that was her house, it was. Oops, sorry, so sorry, you live with a skitter now. Oh well. She should be fine. If you are interested in purchasing a Weird Centralia shirt, they are still available in our merch store. You just go to keepitweirdpodcast.com/merch, and that's merch as in merchandise, and you click the button that says click to shop here. It takes you to our merch store. Any of the designs you click on, including the Weird Centralia design, which should be the first design on the page, once you click on it, if you scroll down, you'll get other items. So if you want a hoodie or a coffee mug or a tote bag or a iPhone case, like whatever it is that you want, that's how you get to the other items. You click on the t-shirt that you like with the design that you want, and you scroll down and you'll get to the other items that have that same design. Okay, the EVP. Guys, so first of all, the Centralia Area Historical Society Museum is located at 240 South Locust Street in Centralia, Illinois. The building is close to 100 years old, give or take a few years. It's the Cole and Meyer building. It was an old grocery warehouse back in the day. Until the 1960s, when a local man named Kenny Ostrich started collecting old items and storing them in his house. He eventually ran out of space and had to rent the floor of another local building, and then ran out of space there as well and moved into the old warehouse. It's now 3 full floors plus a huge basement, literally full of Centralia history. Photographs, newspaper clippings, old military uniforms and medals, medical equipment, orphans memorabilia, you name it, it's there. It is free to the public. The entire place is a nonprofit. It runs strictly on donations from the townsfolk, and you can go in any day they are open and explore, and I highly recommend you bring a recording device, because you may just catch something, and maybe it'll be as creepy as the one we caught. So, after the show, a good portion of the audience stuck around to do a spooky walkthrough of the museum. The lights were off. We traveled by flashlights and flameless candles through the many floors. Now, I thought my group was going to get all the cool activity, because we were going to the basement. Now, if you will, for a moment, picture the creepiest warehouse basement you've ever seen. Great. Now put a jail cell from the early 1900s in there. Perfect. That's the basement of the Centralia Museum. It's terrifying down there, but pretty light on the paranormal activity. The only place my EMF detector went off was in a corner with a collection of old wheelchairs. Ugh. The third floor, however, was another story. The third floor is stocked full of items that used to be owned by residents of this town. Tables and dining sets and decor and household items truly cover every inch of the third floor, and our EMF detectors kind of couldn't keep up with all of the energy swirling around that level. This EVP takes place in a section that was full of cribs, strollers, baby dolls, and old children's toys, which is already quite creepy. As you saw in the video earlier in the show, oftentimes you can place the EMF detector flat and ask it questions, and the entity or whatever you're communicating with can answer you by lighting up the device. Usually we do light up for yes and don't light up for no. So this took place after the girls had already been asking a few questions, and they determined by what the EMF was telling them that whatever they were communicating with was a nanny, a former caretaker, and possibly she was interested in photography. That tidbit goes nowhere, but it is interesting nonetheless, and something we're taking with us as we attempt to research the items that the girls were standing next to see if we can find out who they might have been conversing with. None of these sounds were heard during the recording. It was only the morning after, when Lauren was having her coffee in a creepy old house, that she heard what you are about to hear.
Memo 2.
Rocking chair. Oh, it's rocking chair. Yeah.
Oh, it's the chair.
Doll?
It's her. The,
That
chair,
just
the
was
doll goes
brought
with
up?
the chair. I just took it out for display upstairs.
Are you gonna go look at the doll? Maybe they went. Oh yeah. They're gonna go look at the doll.
Okay. Give it a little light.
Oh, there's some reading. Is this someone new? Is this someone new over by this new doll that we brought up? Is this the person we've been talking to? Is there anybody over by this doll? Oh, we got a little bit. Do you want to train them? Sure.
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking because yours isn't really doing
Oh.
I'm kind of sad the other one's not lighting up.
Yeah, usually when we go on ghost tours,
That one really goes. I know, that's what's been interesting.
Is anyone here? Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Do you want to talk? No?
It's okay.
Do you want us to go away?
Do you want us to leave?
Do you want us to stop talking to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on top of the clear as day shh, 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 which could either be the sound of soothing a baby or quite possibly the sound of telling us to shut the heck up, because if you heard the end, the EMF indicated it would like us to move along, which we did. We always respect the wishes of whoever we're talking to. There's also these strange whooshing sounds throughout, and some listeners noted that it sounded like wind coming in from an open window, but I can verify there were no open windows, there were no breezes on that third floor. I have no idea what it was, unless someone was making that sound with their mouth right next to the recording device, which I feel like Lauren would have remembered. This is by far the clearest EVP we've ever personally caught, and I cannot wait to go back to the museum to see if I can talk more with this sweet nanny. And hopefully this time the baby won't be sleeping and we can have a conversation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you have a very spooky Halloween and that your October was full of frights, but only the fun kind, and that you received tons of treats and only a few tricks. Visit your local museum, talk to your elders, learn their stories before there is no one left to tell them. I promise you that you'll stumble into some very strange stuff. So until next time, we love you so much, and keep it weird.